When you approach the vehicle with the key, once it senses the key, when you get close enough to it, it'll turn on these lights here. You can see this light in the handle, there front and back, but there's also interior lights that turn on as well. There's no other like approach lights or any exterior lights that's going to help you navigate the ground to get to the vehicle though, when you just approach it with the key. But when you hit the unlock button, it turns on the lights in the front, the tail lights are on, but there's still no approach light here on the sides. When you toggle the off position on the headlight switch, you're able to turn off all the exterior lights. Some vehicles, you can't do that when the engine's running. So now I have the parking lights on, and there's an LED strip just under the headlights that illuminates now. And it is a nice, sharp, and very bright LED here. So let me turn the brightness down on the camera so you can see it. Very sharp and bright. More so bright here on the outside than the inside, but it looks really nice. Really clear white LED light. And that serves as a daytime running light, so that's part of the reason why it's so bright. Now there's also an amber side marker here on the front. Tail lights are now on, and there's a red side marker here. Quite bright so you can see the vehicle from the side, but really nice, impressive tail lights. Nice design. Has like a wave design here, and these are red. The camera kind of makes them look orange, but they are red tail lights. And the tag light is on right now, and it kind of illuminates the ground a little bit, so kind of helps out with visibility and approaching the vehicle. But yeah, these taillights are looking really nice. Okay, so I have the turn signal on, and man, those white LED lights are bright. So let me turn the brightness down on the camera quite a bit. So hopefully you can see the turn signal, because the turn signal kind of gets drowned out by that brighter light. But there it is right there. It's an amber LED strip just below that white light here in the front. There's also an amber turn signal indicator here on the side mirror. Not very bright at all, but you can see it from the side there, the front side and back. It's a little bit brighter looking from this angle. And then the turn signal is actually amber in color, but it's in the same housing here as the tail light, so it is separated as far as color. So it is an amber color instead of red. Not super duper bright though, but you can see it. It's bright enough, no doubt. Especially back here, it's actually brighter when you get further away from it. I guess it's angled more down. So those white LED lights there in the front, they do shine on the ground a little bit, and you might potentially mistake them for headlights. But the actual headlights are quite a bit different. See, so there's the low beams, there's the high beams. So let's look at the low beams here. So the low beams and the fog lights are now on, because I just turned the switch, the fog light switch. And this is a multi projector. So you can see it's 1, 2, 3, 4 projectors there. And they basically they kind of blend together and give you the visibility there on the road. Now the fog lights are also a projector. So right down here, let's take a look at those. They are a multi, basically just like the headlights. They're just very low, which is what you want. Multi reflector. All right, so when I dip down, you can see the cutoff there. So it's about 3 feet off the ground. So a fairly high cutoff. I guess the vehicle is pretty high, so that's part of the reason why. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out the high beams. Now the high beams are basically the same lights, just refocused and to a different brightness and different level. Also, the fog lights are now turned off. So looking at them, I mean, basically just kind of looking at them from this angle, they look about the same, but they're much higher position here. And you can see this, yeah, just standing here with the camera, even like 6 feet off the ground, it's already shining on the camera. So no real reason to dip down and all that, because they're definitely high beams. They're high up. And we're going to look at it going down the road as well. The cargo area, it's interesting. This one has no actual lights in the cargo area, but it does have 2 lights here on the lift gate that are like over the shoulder lights, and they're really well positioned to where when you're standing here in the middle of the cargo area, you can see pretty good. So all in here is basically evenly lit. There's not much shadows except for in this far corner here. There's a little bit of a shadow, but it does a decent job of illuminating this cargo area. So I have a bunch of stuff in here, and it's not really causing too much of an issue because you have this top-down lighting, which is, you're not going to cast a shadow. Basically, like some vehicles have like a light here on the side, and then it kind of casts a shadow because it's in this low position. But since we have this lighting that's coming from the top down, it illuminates pretty decent. I mean, obviously it could be slightly better, but I mean that's good. Having those lights really up high and over your shoulder like that, it really helps out because it's from the vantage of your eyes looking down. It also kind of shines a little bit on the ground as well. So really liking the cargo lights, pretty good. I mean, I was kind of skeptical at first when I saw there was no lights in here. It was just the over the shoulder lights, but it's working. It seems to work fine. There is a backlit button here to the left, and there's also one here for the power liftgate to lower it. So the third row has a light right up here, there in the center. And it's actually like 2 lights, and it kind of shines more in the lap of the passenger. So there and on the other side. And when you have the seats folded down, it serves as a little bit of a cargo light as well. But it's primarily for passengers back here so they can see what they're doing. The inside of the back door does actually have a puddle light here. So when you open the door, when you're getting out, there's a light here on the bottom of the door that shines on the ground so you can see what you're stepping in when you get out. I wish they had an approach light so you can see what you're stepping in when you're approaching the vehicle, but doesn't have that. So this pocket right here is dark. This one is also dark, but it does have that accent lighting, and you can customize the colors, which is pretty cool. And then you can see the handles there illuminated, and then it has the accent lighting there. So that's pretty cool. So the inside, interior lights here for the second row, there's one on each side of the big sunroof, and basically just shines on the seats area and not so much in the floorboard. So especially with the black carpet, can't really see all that good at all. But you can see halfway decent here in the seats, and with the light interior it helps out, but it's still not that bright. On the back of the center console there is some climate control buttons that are backlit with the heated seats and stuff right here. There's vents, and then below that is 2 backlit USB charge ports. But there's a power inverter and a 12-volt power supply that are not backlit. So the driver's door has a puddle light as well, which illuminates the ground nicely. Now this door actually has a pocket light. So there's a light right here in this pocket illuminating this bottle right here, unlike the back door. Then there's a backlit button here. This pocket here is dark, but it has a speaker that has accent lighting in it, and then backlit buttons here and here. That handle's illuminated, and then you have the accent lighting. The floorboard is also illuminated with that accent lighting color, so you can customize the color here. It's kind of hard to tell because of the black carpet, but this area is illuminated subtly anyway. So the lights coming, the interior lights here on the front, it's just 2 lights there in the center, kind of dome lights, and they illuminate pretty good in the seats, not so much in the floorboard, but we do have the floorboard illumination, which is good. And we will need those lights to turn on sometimes because there are some issues with some of these compartments as far as lighting. Okay, so I got the door open with the interior lights on. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut it. We can see what it looks like when the interior lights fade out. We have the backlit buttons, we have these accent lighting. So here on the door, it actually has a speaker that has illumination. And I have the accent light right now to one of the themes. It's kind of like a yellowish color, which we're going to go through all the colors soon. So you can see backlit buttons there, and there's the pocket lighting. The speaker is kind of interesting that it has illumination in it. Backlit buttons here. Floorboard is also illuminated. It's kind of hard to tell, but it is illuminated. You can see it in there. It's the same color as the accent lighting. There's the screen. Screen's really nice. Same as the heads-up display is also really good. Really good. So here's the screen. Let's go ahead and put it in reverse so we can see the back of the camera system. I think I have the brightness up too high for this because it's kind of bright. But you can see in there pretty good. It amplifies the lights around the vehicle so you can see pretty good around. Alright, put it back in park. Alright, so you can see the buttons here. Now you'll notice that there's some dark areas here. Right here is a pops up. You can't really tell where it is. Let me turn on the interior lights so you can see. Let's go and turn on all the interior lights. Right here is a little thing that pops up, and it has backlit USB ports in it, but you have to kind of know where it is to pop it up. There's no like finder light or anything. Same thing with these right here for the brake hold and the to turn off the idle stop. Those are backlit there, but on this side, you can see if it had like a little finder there on the right side, that would help. And there's buttons here, pads there. There's a little storage pocket and cup holders, which are completely dark. So once again, let me turn on the interior lights so you can see there's a little pocket there, here. This area is all dark. All right, but there is a nice accent light here on the side of the compartment. It'd be nice to have them in the cup holders though, in that little storage area. Glove compartment has the dimmest light I've ever seen in it, but it does have a light. Alright, this center console has two portions. The top portion does not have a light, which you can't see anything, but the bottom portion does have a light, which is nice, and backlit USB port there. But there is a 12-volt power supply in here that's dark. You can't see it, but you can see the USB port. Auto dimming rearview mirror has a HomeLink garage door opener controls, which are backlit there on the underside. And then up here, it actually has backlit buttons to turn on the interior lights. Some vehicles just skip that for some reason, so you can easily find the light and then on and off. You can also have them turn on with the door, which is a separate button. And then you have individual lights here on the right side, on the left side. Sunglasses holder is dark, it doesn't have anything. The visors have a light and a mirror. But yeah, the floorboard illumination, this side right here on each side of this console has some light, which is cool. It's shining up there on the seat. And then you can see the lights on the door. Even the speaker has some light. It's more for, a lot of this stuff is more for looks, except for the floorboard. That's kind of functional, and the pockets in the door. But obviously the speaker is just for looks, and this right here is just for looks. But it does kind of cast some light here on the controls, which is nice. But not having the lights in the cup holder area and the storage area here glove compartment has a super dim light. That's almost, I mean, it's okay that it has a light, but it could have been better anyway. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool having these accent lights. They don't blind you or anything. They're not super bright, and they look nice. They just kind of look really nice when you're driving around, and you can change the colors, or you can tie it to the drive mode or whatever. So they're calling these purple lights accent lights, and it says accent light theme under the settings, vehicle settings, lighting setup. And then you can go in here and there's quite a few different themes. So it's not just the color, it's like a combination of colors. So right here is dynamic mode, which is, you click that, and then it's basically gonna change based on what drive mode you're in. And there's like 7 or 8 different drive modes, so you can, it's gonna change relative to that. So I'm gonna cycle through them. So there's a blue right there, and they're calling that's under the comfort drive level, dynamic mode called comfort. That's what it's going to look like. Normal is going to look like that, kind of white. The next one's going to be sport, which is red. And then it has the next one, Autodroma, which gives it a red and white combo. Suzuka gives it another red and white, but just reversed. And then it has quite a few of them that have weird names. Automobilismo, which is kind of like a orange. Gran Premio, which is like a orange and yellow. So some of these I can't pronounce, so you can see right there. And this touchscreen system is a little frustrating until you get used to it. Alright, so there's another combination. This one's got green and orange, which is pretty interesting. And then this one's kind of like a blue and a gold, I guess. Baja Highway. This one is like an aqua and a yellow or orange or something. It's hard to tell. Some of these colors are very different. The Route 66, this one is like a sunset gold type. And then Bourbon Street is a purple and orange. It's pretty cool. I like that one. There's quite a few of them. There's Champs something. Golden Gate. It's a nice glow. Vegas Strip. This one's like a purplish color. Canjo. Fifth Avenue. You can see the different ones there. This one's called Blue Ridge. Canyonlands. Something Notre Dame. That looks pretty cool. That were nice sharp red and blue. A lot of these are nice. These are really nice. Different color combinations. You can't really customize the colors. It's just kind of like has a lot of different options here. Alright, so this is the last one called Icefield Parkway. So it's pretty neat. Has a little associated image with each one as well. Quite a few of them. So there's the cutoff there for the low beams, and then there's the high beams. You can see it's quite a bit higher, and the cutoff is still there, but it just kind of adds this additional light there on the top. So it's pretty bright, and that cutoff seems awfully high. So hopefully this is not going to be an issue as far as blinding people. And I do have the automatic high beams on. So we'll see how that goes. I can quickly turn it off, so that's good. It does have the the ability to turn that off quickly. But it's one of those types of headlights that I'm concerned that it'll be a little bit too bright, or the cutoff is a little bit too high, especially when we're going up and down little hills and stuff. So actually looking at it on the road, the left side is a little bit lower. There's like a notch or a kind of a blank spot that's a little bit less bright there on oncoming traffic lane. Just a slight difference. But you can see that cutoff. It's going up and pretty high when I'm going up that little hill there. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, the brightness is great. I mean, my visibility is looking pretty dang good, even with the low beams on. Okay, so there we go. Yeah, these are pretty dang good headlights. As far as my visibility, that is really good. That is really good. Those high beams are amazing. So there's the high beams. You can see the trees at a great distance, and it's one of those lights that doesn't have to have any kind of gimmicky bending or auto leveling and active bending and all that stuff. It's just bright everywhere, and you don't have to worry about it. Yeah, look at that. I don't know if, hopefully you can tell on the camera, it is just fantastic. It's not dimming though. There we go. That's a little bit of an issue right there as far as the auto high beams, because this is a super bright headlights, and if you don't want to blind people. But look at that. The pathway down the road, the center of the road is bright. Off to the sides, like up high. So if you're going up a hill or something, you're able to see up high as well, like able to get up the road a little bit. So yeah, this is, I mean, probably one of the best for this type of vehicle. Probably one of the best high beams, especially, but just overall headlights are really good. Go back to high beams. Yeah, you can see the trees, everything in front of you. That is a nice view. So apparently all those multiple projectors, they overlap well because it's evenly lit. It's not really like there's patchiness, and it's overlapped nicely to where there is fairly even light on the ground in front of you. But the automatic high beams, not 100% on those yet. That one time it didn't dim quite right in time, so that concerns me a little bit. And I did clean the windshield, so we'll see how it goes. Which the windshield doesn't stay perfectly clean this time of year, but yeah, I mean, I'm very impressed, actually, very impressed with these headlights, especially the high beams.